now what have we got here? Oh wow, another unfinished game mode that will have a drip feed of content support for the next 5 to 8 months. Thanks, Epic! This is the best Christmas ever! It's alright, we all forget to finish a video game and have to patch it to completion later sometimes. It's a fairly common trend in the gaming industry as of late, and perhaps nobody is better at doing that than Epic Games. Fortnite, Lego Fortnite, and Rocket Racing all are released pretty unfinished, and one of those didn't even get completed later on. That brings us to the meal of the day, Fortnite Ballistic, a 5v5 tactical shooter set in the great Fortnite ecosystem, which is notable for being the first Fortnite game to be played in first person. Well, except for that time. Ballistic launched in the great year of our Lord 2024, and as the page turns to 2026 and Ballistic passes the 17 years until it can drink mark, it is very much not finished. And I'll bet that in whatever dumbass, idiot year you're living and watching in, it probably won't be finished either. Now, to be fair, it does have an early access label, and it's a free-to-play release, so it's not the most egregious thing in the world, but still, let's take a look at Ballistic's first year on the market, what it does right, and what it doesn't do at all. Ballistic dropped with a grand total of one single map in Skyline 10. Skyline 10 is fun. This is a good map, well designed, a solid layout, and a great aesthetic, and I now know it better than I know my own family because it was literally the only map for the first 4 months. There's a humble but solid lineup of weapons to choose from. When starting out, I played it fairly safe with a lot of spray and pray, but as I played more, I really enjoyed trying out the different weapon types on offer here, from the shotguns to the sniper rifles. Although I think the major impacting factor here is the flex gadgets. Every Ballistic match starts with each team member selecting one of a few flex gadgets that only they can use during the match. Being able to quickly secure the gadget that best suits your playstyle is so essential. I've had games where I just didn't lock mine in quick enough and ended up playing worse because I was stuck with a second-rate gadget. Personally, I'm a shield bubble main, but I'm also partial to a sneaky impulse grenade or even a recon if I'm feeling naughty. And that's just out of the initial lineup. A year later, there are quite a few more options that are really solid. And of course, there are other item gadgets, like flashbangs. That's pretty much launch Ballistic. I know it doesn't seem like much, but I played a fair bit of this around the launch window, eventually ranking up all the way to Platinum before getting my ass handed to me and never playing again. Fortnite feels really good in the first person, and weapon wraps have way more utility now since you're always up close and personal with your gun. Ballistic has had a grand total of 6 major updates during its first year, starting with a small update in January mostly focused on balance changes, deleting unranked because literally nobody played it, and adding the drum gun. The drum gun costs more than my student loans do, but it is absolutely worth it. It is crazy fun. March's update introduced the second map, Hammerfall, which is a quote-unquote shell map, essentially meaning there's no environmental art. It's a void of world grid material. The update in April introduces Test Grounds, a new side mode for experimenting with the new shell maps and features in a safe, unranked space. Yeah, it's basically just unranked, they brought it back with a new name. And then it got removed again. One of these new shell maps is Storm Chaser Cove, a seaside resort that I'm sure would feel much more luxurious if it had textures. On top of that, you've got the Striker Burst Rifle, Sovereign Sniper Rifle, Fire Grenade, and Nitro Overdrive. I enjoy popping an Overdrive, it's a nice little boost, but I wish it didn't take so long to activate. Out of all of these additions, the Striker Burst Rifle stands out to me the most. I've had a lot of fun with this thing, but I'm always a sucker for a burst rifle in Fortnite, so that's not really a surprise. May's update adds another shell map in Cinderwatch, a Mediterranean town nestled under a beautiful, probably volcano, alongside Who Cares and the option to vote to surrender, which is a really great quality of life feature for if you're getting absolutely bitched way too hard, which does happen. June's update adds another shell map in K-Zone Commons. I'm really enjoying the flow of new maps being added in quick succession, but all of them being shells makes it a little hard to remember the layouts to each one. I don't know, they all look so similar, they sort of blend together, maybe that's just a skill issue for me. There's also the debut of the Medmist Smoke Grenade, please dude, it's all green, I can't see, and the Machine Pistol, which is another pistol option, which is very much appreciated. I'm sorry, I just don't enjoy the hand cannon that much in this game. Oh my bruh. August brings a pretty sizable update with the Veiled Precision SMG and another one of my personal favorite flex gadgets, the Deployable Wall, making their entrance. But those are just the potatoes. The real meat of this update is Hammerfall getting upgraded into the second true map with full art and a completed layout, and man, It is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, walking around here you can definitely get some Unreal Engine 5, Nintendo Hire This Man vibes, but this is such a bold art style for Fortnite, and I think it really fits the aesthetic of Ballistic. This is super dope. Unfortunately, that was the last update of the year. The rest of 2025 is shockingly lacking in literally any content updates, which makes me wonder, is something big coming for Ballistic? Or is it going to tend to the rabbits? Only time will tell. Your greed sickens me. Ballistic is Fortnite's potential game right now. It has the potential to be really strong, a genuine competitor in the tactical shooter genre, and I think it's headed in a strong direction right now. But what we really need is for the other shell maps to be finalized and a more concrete direction, maybe even a story to follow once we're out of early access to keep us invested. Super nitpicky, but the branding feels kinda generic for a tac shooter. It's clean, but nothing really screams Fortnite. This mode is set in the Fortnite universe, so there's an opportunity to utilize popular and recognizable locations like Tilted Towers or Mega City as maps instead of Castle. They could also reach a bit further into Fortnite's sandbox of wacky, cartoony weapons and items that feel true to the game. Stuff like clingers or, I don't know, the fucking boom bow. Even the guns and items that are here have been redesigned to be much more realistic and drab, which feels like a step in the wrong direction for me. Ballistic is a really fun mode. I have a good time pretty much every time I go to play it. I think Epic did a really great job for their first real foray into first-person shooters in the Fortnite universe. And look, I'll be dead honest, Ballistic is my first tactical shooter. I've never played CSGO, and I haven't killed myself, so you know I haven't yet touched Valorant, so I can't really judge how Ballistic stacks up against its competitors. I just appreciate Ballistic for what it is in the context of a Fortnite experience. And with that in mind, I think there really should be some kind of a tutorial to teach these kids how to play a first-person bomb defusal game. Otherwise, they'll just play it like it's a battle royale, and it'll suck, and they'll suck, and we'll all be sad. I think that the most charming thing about Ballistic is that, as is Fortnite's nature, you can get some really crazy crossovers in these lobbies. Honestly, the scariest combo of characters to face in Ballistic is Sabrina Carpenter and Hatsune Miku. The fact that I can even say that sentence is oh, hello Homer. And outside of that, Ballistic is, at its core, a really fun time. Once you perfect your sensitivity, it feels amazing to control. There are some genuinely super fun item combos like the absolute wildcard that is the impulses and a shotgun, and the maps are really well designed and laid out. I do also think that removing unranked options was a bit of an L. Sometimes I just want to enjoy this mode without getting absolutely railed by players far better than myself. On that note, I think it's super important to also mention that, yeah, queuing with randoms sucks. It's really bad, but it's a genuinely fun time with friends. Having a strong team synergy is super important, and getting a full 5 friends together and properly communicating makes this a really fun time. It may be hard to believe that tac shooter players can have friends, but if they do, they'll have a fine time here. Bro, are you good? I genuinely think that there's a hidden gem here. The lack of content at launch probably put off a lot of potential players, and the fact that it launched after Marvel Rivals dropped with oh sweet probably didn't help. But if Epic really commits and puts a bit more effort into this going forward, I think that Ballistic could become a legitimately great tactical shooter, and it might just stand shoulder to shoulder with the greats. However, it is an unfortunately indisputable fact of reality that Fortnite players just have no idea how to play Ballistic, dude. Not at all. What are you doing?
They're worst players on the last one alive, and I hate them.